goes to our host.
Hello everyone, I'm Priyanka Porwal, Chief Architect and Senior Manager.
तो मैं एक ग्लोबल टीम में जो आर्किटेक्ट्स और चीफ आर्किटेक्ट्स की उसको लीड करती हूँ और सर मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि मैं अपनी कंपनी की पहली फीमेल चीफ आर्किटेक्ट
वाह क्या बात है.
You have seen her light up the screen, singing, hosting, and taking on the KBC hot seat with confidence. But beyond the spotlight, Priyanka is a standout in the tech world. As a chief architect and a senior manager for an MNC, she has chosen to stay hands-on in a field where many women move into management, leading with deep technical skills, earning multiple awards along the journey. And while she excels at work, she's just as grounded at home, a nurturing woman, deeply connected to her family, culture, and values.
My name is Abha Gupta for Her Chronicles. It's my pleasure to invite a dear friend, Priyanka Porwal today. Priyanka, welcome to Her Chronicles and thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me over. And we know each other since quite long, but it's very interesting to see you in this role of host of Her Chronicles. So thank you so much.
Likewise. How do you like to introduce yourself?
Myself, I would say I'm a very passionate person, modern in outlook, but traditional in values. Professionally, I'm a chief architect and senior manager, leading a global architects team in SAP, working on SAP's North Star architecture topics. So basically converting the SAP's corporate strategy to the technical strategy. Personally, wife, mother of two adorable girls, and someone who enjoys anchoring shows, cooking, reading, writing poems, traveling, and simply, enjoying time with my family.
That's lovely, and so many different aspects to you. And how does that make you feel? How do you feel about your journey?
There are still many more dreams to go, miles to go before I sleep. But yeah, my journey, when I look back, it had its own challenges, but touch wood, it's been fulfilling so far. I come from a very traditional family, and I'm talking 3 decades back. And in those days, at least in my community, females were usually married as soon as they turned of legal age. I was the first woman in my entire extended family who went for engineering, went to another state, studied in a hostel, and I graduated with 7 gold medals. I'm blessed to have parents who actually, believed in education. Goddess Saraswati was very valued at home, and they always encouraged me to pursue my ambition. So they supported me, not just supported me. In fact, I would rather say encouraged me to dream big, and they knew the value of the education. So whatever little I've achieved so far, it's been due to blessings of my parents, my gurus, support of my husband and daughters. So I feel great and in fact honored to be here.
Wow. It's nothing short of, anybody would want to aspire younger. But you have described yourself in so many different ways, right? Let's start with the tech industry first, and then we'll dive into the other subjects.
Okay.
But the norm in the tech industry today, more and more girls and women moving towards management. And personally, I went into that journey. And many of my mentees today, team members, come and ask me, should I move towards management role or should I move towards stay in technical roles? What is your advice and what's your suggestion to them?
I always say that one should, pursue the thing which resonates most with them. For example, if somebody really likes interacting with customers, then maybe they should go into the sales, marketing, and or the customer support kind of roles. If somebody really likes, creating products and, thinking about how this product should look like, what should be the vision, then maybe they should take product manager. Or similarly, if somebody, likes, organizing things, keeping a track, driving those things, maybe they should go into the project management side of it. Personally, for me, it was always like, architecture. I always like to design and architect things. And in fact, there is a very nice quote from a very famous, architect, rather in the building construction side of it. But, the quote which he mentioned is also very applicable to software architecture. And he said that an architect, is someone who designs for the present with an awareness of the past for a future which is essentially unknown. And that's what, kind of resonates with me, that I like to design and architect solutions which are going to stay, for a long period of time and being used by end users. So that's what, kind of resonates with me. So which is why I would always say that anybody who's deciding on their career path, they should first try out few things. Either be very clear that this is what I like. If you are still unsure, then maybe try out few things. You can always go for companies who offer, let's say, initial internship wherein you can rotate between various departments. So you try doing that and see what role, what, thing attracts you the most, and then pursue that.
So what you're saying is understand yourself, understand what your interests are, what draws you, what attracts you. If need be, experiment, use your network, leverage. I think an important aspect is asking for support also there, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Asking for support
Definitely.
So, and then choose a path. It's all right to be at a certain stage and ensure a right decision rather than rushing into one.
Absolutely. And even if, let's assume that, you took a certain decision at certain point of time, but it's okay sometimes to also rewind. Sometimes it's okay to fail. It's okay to step back and take a relook, at your career. So personally, I think I feel that, it's okay to fail. And quite often we sometimes think that, okay, failure and I was not so successful, but it's okay. It's okay. You are all human beings, and it's sometimes it's fine to take risks and rewind back also.
That's a great point. I mean, it's all right to rewind. I love that part of it.
Yeah.
How have you dealt? You must have been through these emotions as well, right? How did you deal?
See, the thing is, it depends on individual choices. Somebody who likes to do management, that's also perfectly fine.
Right.
So the thing is, people define growth in very different ways. Some people will define growth as compensation increase. Some people will define that, okay, how many now number of products are under my responsibility. Some people will define it as how many people report to me, how big or large my team is. Yeah. For me, it was always like, I would rather define growth as, how much my knowledge, how much my skills have improved. Like, how have I grown as compared to last year? So in fact, I'll also tell you there was a period of around 3 years in my career wherein I did the dual responsibility of architect as well as engineering manager. But even when I was engineering manager, it was more like, how do I want to actually design, develop, and deliver in a certain way. And that's why I also took that engineering management role. It was never the lure of, let's say, these many people and the power game and all. So it's never been my, goal or ambition. It's more about always architecture.
How do you manage this self-grooming part of it, handling? How have you taught yourself all these things, right? Of course, experiences, it comes with experiences, also certain things, but any conscious efforts towards making your thought, bringing the clarity of thought in yourself?
I think it's not like, I always am aware that, this is the only thing which I want to do. Sometimes I do, fail. Sometimes I have my own vulnerabilities. What is important is recognize your own vulnerabilities and work towards that. Yeah. So you might be, let's say, lacking in certain things, or you might need to pick up certain skills, but you have to make that conscious effort to learn that, or, let go of some of your, let's say, blind spots. Yeah, so sometimes you don't even know. So it's important to also, talk to some like-minded people, also learn from them, or to improve your knowledge and skills, also subscribe, attend conferences, or do some trainings and all. So these are all ways via which you could improve your knowledge and skills. That's what I would also suggest. But then sometimes the blind spots are something which we are never aware about, and that's where having a executive coach or a mentor helps. So I would suggest that everybody, should invest into coaching and mentoring. Whatever level you are, having a mentor always helps. And it's also important to mentor others, not just getting mentored, but also mentor others, because when you really mentor others, you get to learn new perspectives. You, in fact, improve your own knowledge and skills. You improve on your communication skills, and you increase your network as well, and your visibility across various organizations. So I think, and it's also important for an organization, because otherwise there is always a brain drain. So having this mentoring kind of opportunities always help in an organization, and as well as to a person.
You've seen and mentored many women around, right? Many girls. What do you think? Any advice to the young girls who are coming out of college, joining the workforce, or about?
As I said, choose the path which resonates with you the most. That's number one thing. Secondly, what I'll also say that, uh, you don't have to be perfectionist all the time. This is a lesson which I also had to teach myself, because me since college days. So I was a perfectionist, but when I had to actually make conscious effort for this. When you are in, a certain stage, like especially when all of us are working women, then we are juggling career, our own family, kids, our hobbies, all the time. And there will be days when your home will not be, most clean. There will be days when your home will be dirty, or there will be days when things will not go in a certain way or as per your expectation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So uh, and then it's okay. Sometimes done is better than perfect, or but there will be days when you will feel that you have not done at your best, but it's okay. So that's a conscious lesson which I had to teach myself. So which is what I will say, that you can't be perfect all the time on all the things on all the days of life. So this is what people need to understand. I had to, especially. And
Yeah.
one additional thing which I will, say to young women is also about, in India, we have a culture that, we don't toot our own horns. Yeah, we say that, if somebody else speaks good about you, that's better, instead of you trying to, all the time speaking or portraying your achievements. That's a culture thing. But it's also important to take pride in your achievements, especially when you are working women. Then you have to step back, think about where did you start from, where you have come, what you have achieved, what were the challenges you overcame, and then say that, okay, this is what I have achieved. Take pride in your achievements. This is something we Indians don't do, especially Indian women. We don't do. It's always that
Absolutely.
good girl kind of thing, which you also say often. So that's what I will say, that take pride in your achievements. It's all about that. Uh, in Hindi we say ki abhiman or ahankar. So at least abhiman zaruri hai, ahankar nahi.
और उसे दिखाना जरूरी है. I mean, show
और उसे
what you are
दिखाना जरूरी
capable,
है.
what you are doing, what you have done, right? No,
Especially
that's
in
so true.
professional thing, you have to have
Yes,
that thought leadership, especially when you're a subject matter expert. You have to establish that thought leadership as well.
absolutely. Very well said that. Yeah. You have you have had so many milestones in your life, right? And what are the key inflection points in your life? What will you call which moments are those where you felt something changed or you evolved or something different?
I think many of them, you could say the engineering thing, which I already mentioned. Then any of the point when you actually, take various roles or jobs. These are all, things which influence your life in a certain way. I wouldn't say just career, but also life in a certain way. Personally, also, getting married. I'm married to a South Indian, you know that anyways, but I'm from North. My husband is a South Indian, and ours is an arranged marriage, which also comes often as a surprise to others. But it's also an, very changing moment, or defining moment in life, because you also have to adjust quite a lot. And I think it happens in all the marriages. It happens, whether you do a love marriage or arranged marriage, whether you marry in your own community or not, there is always a period wherein you have to adjust to each other's, let's say, likes, choices, idiosyncrasies, and all that happens. So that's also and inflection point, or milestone. And then of course my two daughters, they kind of make your life complete. So that's what I would say.
How do you balance these aspects? It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy decision, right? When you go out of the norms, and you've done again and again. But how about parenting? Were you also on a guilt trip like most mothers do when they're working?
Ah, guilt trip. That's a very interesting question, actually, Hava, because I've heard this question quite often from others also. And I've heard also from, the women colleagues who I have mentored, who have actually become mothers, and they are often, under that guilt that I'm not doing the best job of the mother. And, today I have not paid attention to my kid and all. But, I've always felt that if you are going to have a career, you cannot really have everything all the time. There will be days when you will have to prioritize your kids. There will be days when you have to prioritize your career or your personal life. So, but you have to juggle all these balls at a different point of time, and you have to decide based on the priority on that day what is most important to you, and then prioritize that one, choose that one. And of course look for a support system for the thing which you're not able to prioritize on a certain day. So touch wood, I have a very supporting husband, when I'm not able to cook. So by the way, we don't have a cook at our home. We still manage to cook ourselves. So there will be days when I am not able to cook, then my husband takes over. He takes care of kid. He makes lovely South Indian food. So I often tease him also that, just like there is Udupi Cafe, we should have a Ravindra Cafe. So yeah, but so you have that support system. You will probably need also some sort of, let's say, a nanny for your kids and all. So, but yeah, you kind of manage. And also, you also have to integrate your work with your life. So what I sometimes also do, and it's quite funny, sometimes I'll have the headphones, especially for the meetings wherein I don't have to speak. It's just maybe, a listening kind of a meetings. And then I might be also, cooking, rolling out rotis, and, the headphone is also there. So you kind of integrate your work and your life. Sometimes it also happens, but yeah, it's all about juggling and
believe
balancing.
in drawing those clear boundaries and accepting is what I write. When if you're not going on a guilt trip, which just means that you have accepted that this is how it is. I do my best. I do prioritize. I handle things, and it's all right.
Yeah, and it's all right even if you are a working woman. I think I always working woman or a homemaker. It's all about your choice, your individual, choice. And if you think it should not be forced, basically, if somebody else's opinion is being thrust upon you and you're not able to do what you actually desire, if you take a conscious decision, that's a very different thing as compared to the opinions which get thrust on you. So if you have decided that, yes, I want to be a working woman, I want to have a successful career, then you have to, you cannot go in on these guilt trips. Because then otherwise you're not just doing justice to yourself, to your family, or to your kids. Your kids also see you, and then they also learn from you that this is how my mom is balancing things. So I can also, do things beyond just, let's say the norms. So I would say that just get rid of that guilt trips.
Very well said. How do you take care of self? Anything that you do for yourself, specifically for self-care?
Self-care, I I love listening to music. That's my
Yes.
time. Um, I am like cooking, I'm singing. I'm like even if I'm washing utensils, I'm singing. So my husband calls me All India Radio. So if I'm singing, that means mood is good at home. Otherwise, if I'm not singing
Barometer
and
for
sitting quiet,
Priyanka.
something is wrong. But yeah, so that self-care, my hobbies, I have several hobbies actually. So music is one of that. And
Perfect.
also, writing poems, reading and all. So those are my pastimes. And that's how, I get that me time.
Lovely.
And music.
Antaksharis, hosting Antaksharis is another, and other games as well, right?
Yeah.
How did that start?
Yeah, I think I would say, started with my mother. So, she will always teach me some songs at home. So at the age of 4 years old, she sent me in some society function that go and sing this song on the stage. And I did that. And somehow I love performing on stage and also anchoring shows. Somehow it kind of resonates with me. I love basically anchoring some of the Kathak annual functions of my daughters. Yeah. So I've been doing this since now last 2-3 years, the Kathak annual functions. And I like bringing in that in the anchoring a little bit of our, traditional things, combine it with our Hindi, Sanskrit, and English, various communication mediums which we have with the audience so that you can connect with them. So I love anchoring shows and somehow since because of the music love, I got into also conducting Antakshari and the music trivia quizzes. So yeah, it's just fun for me.
It's a lot of hard work, right? You've got to prepare
Correct.
for these, right?
Correct. Yeah,
It needs a lot
it's
of
a
preparation.
lot of hard work because I always say that, if you are organizing something, it takes a village to organize these things, because you have to take care of several aspects. I mean, I'm sure for Her Chronicles, you are also doing a lot, many things in the background compared to what's coming up on the screen. So, that's why I always say that to organize, it takes a village. And plus, still, you learn a lot as well. It's your passion.
Absolutely.
But, in the pursuit of this passion, you're learning so many things. You learn interacting with people. You learn, how to team build sometimes also, so quite a number of things, you pick up when you do organize events and all.
Absolutely. So true, right? The networking, the connects that you build with the people
Correct.
in the process is invaluable. Is something that I'm
Absolutely.
experiencing in
Absolutely.
this journey as well.
And time management.
Time management is, oh, absolutely. That's like the basic. Yes, you have to manage things and you make it happen. Yes.
Yes.
In the process, you also went into KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati, and that was wow. I followed you through that time. Tell me about that. Was it like a dream you tried for years? How did you go about it?
Actually, I never tried, Abba. So
Okay.
the thing is, never tried. The thing is, somehow everyone has this bucket list, right? So my bucket list top item was I want to meet Amitabh Bachchan. And so my kids will always say that, you just keep saying this. Why don't you try for KBC and then see if it happens, right? So I did try, went through several rounds and somehow, yeah, got lucky to meet, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I think it's not just my dream. Probably almost everybody in India has this dream, right? Feel good that, okay, my bucket list topmost item is ticked now.
Oh, wow. Not an easy, statistically also not an easy thing to reach there.
Correct.
How was the
Correct.
experience? How did you feel about it?
Too good, actually. Very good. The moment he steps on the stage, it's a different aura, a different charisma which he has, the way he interacts with people, even when the camera is switched off, by the way, not just on camera, even when the camera is switched off, he's interacting with the audience, sharing some anecdote and, making them laugh in general, just to, make them believe that he's also one of us. He's not that, let's say a mega star of the century, right? He's very, let's say, you can see that effort coming in from his side. He doesn't need to do that, at his stage, at what all he has achieved, he doesn't need to do that. But he's very, down to earth there, and he makes you believe that he's one of you. So I absolutely, enjoyed the entire experience of KBC. And the team is also very good, very professional, very organized, and also, I loved it.
Bigger fan, fan girl, I guess.
Bigger fan following, definitely.
Humility. I think you also talked about humility there, right? He ensures you feel like one of you, and that's a sign of a leader. Is how I really feel and
True.
experience great leaders to be like.
Yes.
You talked
absolutely.
about poems as well, right? I know you are a major cultural and tradition proponent. You keep talking about it, and you find chances to share. But I want to hear about poems also. You've been writing for a long, long time.
Poems, what happened is like I started from 8th standard, writing poems. I felt that it's a very good way to express my emotions. So whenever something, connects very deeply with me, I write a poem on it. Like, for example, when the Bawri Masjid thing happened, I wrote something about it. Then similarly, when I went to Israel for a trip and then came back to India, the whole experience and how beautiful our country is and how welcoming our country is. So I wrote on that experience. Same way, wrote on my mother one poem, on my father another poem. I in fact wrote one poem on Mr. Amitabh Bachchan as well. But yeah, it's all about expressing my emotions and thoughts.
Do you publish these somewhere if someone wants to read them?
My book is now, I've discussed with one publisher, and I'm sending my poems to him. The book name is Antarnath. So basically, let's see once it comes up.
We'll wait for that. Any poem you want? We can just a few lines if you can recite for us.
Okay. So this one I titled as Mati Ki Khushbu. So कई बार ये दिल भटका, कभी इधर उड़ा, कभी उधर उड़ा, फिर भी ए वतन तेरी बात कुछ और ही है. कई खुशबुओं का अनुभव हुआ, कहीं तेज इत्र की गंध, महकी हुई फिजाएं, फिर भी ए वतन तेरी मिट्टी की खुशबू कुछ और ही है. कई पकवान खाए, कभी राजभोग, कभी राजभोज, फिर भी ए वतन तेरी रोटी का स्वाद कुछ और ही है. कई मधुर गीत सुने, कुछ शोर शराबे से, कुछ मन भावे से, फिर भी ए वतन तेरा राग संगीत कुछ और ही है. कई रंग देखे, टेसू सा सुर्ख देखा, श्वेत कपोत भी देखा, हरियाली धरती भी देखी, फिर भी ए वतन तिरंगे की बात कुछ और ही है. ए वतन तुझको शत शत नमन. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. And so much I can resonate with it. I remember what came to my mind was my visit to Kargil and
I know.
Vijayastham there. It was such an emotional, you cannot have tears not flowing out of your eyes there. Your love for saris, right? You find an opportunity, and thanks for wearing one for me today.
I just love it actually. I feel somewhere, what happens is like when you wear saris in office, or people will meet you, suddenly they'll start asking you that, is it your birthday? Is it your marriage anniversary? Karwa Chauth, aaj kuch function hai. But I somehow always felt, sari is a very beautiful, dress. You can wear it in your any professional or personal life, any, walks of life. And I always feel, somehow now these days, if you are wearing a sari, that means it must be an occasion. While our mothers, our teachers, they wore sari all the time, and somehow now these days it's become more like, occasionally people wear it. But I somehow always love wearing saris. So I have different types of saris, and probably everybody has some vices. So my vices are, collecting saris and collecting earrings. So
beautiful. Priyanka, what are your future dreams, plans? What are you looking forward to? What drives the energy, continues that fire burning within you?
I think there is lots to achieve still, as I said in the beginning, miles to go before I sleep. But yeah, professionally, definitely I want to, grow further. That's always there. But personally also, now that my kids are growing up, my daughters, so one of the daughter has already, flown away from the nest. She is now studying in another state in IITV. The younger one still, is in the 8th standard, so she still is undergoing her education. So, making sure that they come out as a balanced individual, not just I'm not a pushy mother at all. There are very different standards which I set for myself and for my kids. So I'm rather a cool mother there. As per my kids' friends also, they say that your mom is very opposite to what their parents are asking for. Yeah, but I still want them to come out as balanced individuals. It's okay, if they are not, let's say, a doctor or an engineer, as is the norm, as is like, society keeps pushing their kids for. For me, it's okay if, they are happy, they are healthy, and come out as a balanced individual. So yeah, miles to do, lots to do.
Lots to do, lots to do. There's one other question, Priyanka, a little extempore maybe, but then comes to my mind is, professionally, women do not network enough. They do not leverage networks enough. And I somewhere feel I've seen you do that from from college times. What do you feel about networking? Is it something consciously one should do? How did you handle it? Any advice on that front?
I think you have to do networking, because what really happens is, with networking, first of all, you get to know a lot of people, yeah, and then you learn new perspectives. You also get to know how to do certain things. For example, you don't have to, every time try out things yourself and fail, and then try, keep trying and then learning. Sometimes when you're talking with others, networking with others, you pick up their perspectives. So you get to know newer things. Even when you don't know that, in depth, but at least you know whom to approach when you are stuck with a certain problem. So you build that, let's say, network of your technical experts. That's one thing. Second thing is, you also get to know about opportunities. Sometimes a lot of opportunities you come through your network. So that's also another thing. One will have to do, conscious efforts here. It's not like, some people do it very naturally, but some people will have to make, conscious efforts here, whether it is like, in-person networking or even the virtual networking. Now these days, I think virtual networking is also very important. So I would say that, we have to do this. And let's say if there are no advantages, even then, you made a friend for life. So you built a connect and you built a relationship. So that's why I would say that everyone should do that.
How does one do networking? Like, let's say if I'm not comfortable connecting, what the questions that will go in my head are, what do I go and talk to this person? I don't know what to talk to this. Is it even worth it? Am I wasting their time? They may be busy, right? Those kind of random thoughts come and you step back. How would you advise? Any practical tips to deal with those things?
See, the thing is, the thing is, first of all, you need to understand what are the, like, strengths or areas this person is working in. So you could go to them and inquire about them. What is the work they are driving? What are the challenges which they face in their career? If it is a friend, that's a very different thing, where you can talk more personally. But let's say if it's more of professional connect, then you will have, you will have to basically show interest in them, and not just show, actual interest in what they do. Try to understand what they are driving, and what are the challenges which they face, and learn from them. Learn from, what the person is talking about. Step or put yourself in their shoes as well. So networking, if let's say if somebody is not available, you said about, what if this person will not have time, or let's say what is the worth or value I am getting through it. If we go that way, it's not a business transaction. Everything is not a business transaction. It's also about building those connects and relationships. So you have to make effort. And then if time is not available with that person, anyways, that person will tell you, unless you make actual conscious choice, effort to do that, you won't even take that first step. And if nothing works, what I've tried many times, I do a working lunch sometimes. So everybody at least will have a lunch or a tea, right? So you
Yeah.
make networking time during that. That's also one possibility you could try out.
Beautifully shared, Priyanka. I think it is about just right and then reach to conclusions. Don't stop yourself from trying, right?
Correct,
Do not
correct.
hesitate. You can do your background prep there also. Have your questions
Exactly.
listed. What are some
Yeah.
things? These days, you have AI tools to help you with those questions as well. And that's also one thing you can use. But prep and
Yeah.
go ahead and more like short questions, rapid fire types.
Okay.
Tea or coffee?
Tea, any day, adrak wala.
Absolutely. I'm coming. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Travel or stay at home?
Travel. I know, but I think this one is more like depends,
Depends.
Yeah, depends. But
A
yeah,
balance of sort.
if everything is good and all, definitely travel.
Okay, great. Singing or dancing?
Singing, any day.
Dancing is for daughters.
Dancing is for my daughters. Yes.
All right. If you were not in tech industry and any completely different career, what do you imagine, or what would you have loved to explore rather? Yeah.
If I was not in tech industry, maybe I would be Anu Kapoor's assistant conducting the Antakshari.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can definitely visualize you there. Any tech myth you wish people would stop believing?
Tech myth. I think here I would say it's not just tech myth, it's rather a career myth that, if I'm doing good, my manager will already, be aware about it. But I think what we should do is talk to our managers, share our long-term ambitions, and then they actually provide you or keep you in mind when such an opportunity comes up. So, I think what people have to realize, managers do not have a magic wand that they will get to know what you are aiming for, or what is your ambition. So do share with your managers. So that's a career myth, most of the times people don't realize.
Very well put across. Glad you brought that point out. Being a manager, I can totally understand. Do you think tech is difficult? Yes or no?
Definitely tech is not difficult, you just have to put effort to it. And that is true for any walks of life, actually.
Very true. Very true. What is your favorite go-to song, power anthem for a karaoke night?
Karaoke night. Depends. Yeah, here again, if it's with friends and party mood and all, then I would be singing any of those disco songs, the old ones. Definitely the old ones.
A line for us.
Line for you. Okay. एक तो कम जिंदगानी, उस पे भी कम है जवानी, जब तक होश में रवानी, जब तक होश में रवानी, जब तक खून में जवानी, मुझे होश में आने तो दो, प्यार दो, प्यार लो, प्यार दो, प्यार लो. That's it.
Beautifully sung, Priyanka. I didn't expect that song, but I love it as well. And I think with that, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you for this lovely conversation. Despite knowing you for nearly many decades now, I felt I got to know a few more aspects of you, and I don't think we have connected in this manner earlier. So thanks for opening up and thanks for sharing.
It's been a pleasure being here, Rabha. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you also to your other team members for having me over and all the background work. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
मेरे सर पर होगी धुन तेरी, तेरे सर पर